The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. orders the Department of Energy and the Energy Regulatory Commission to study the recommendation to allow third parties when it comes to transmission projects in the energy sector.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez answers the issue concerning his relationship with Vice President Sara Duterte.
Several lawmakers are dissatisfied with the recent move of the House leadership as they continue to lock horns on the issue of charter change.
And the unprecedented drug shortages in Britain face a potential setback as the European Union takes steps to function as a unified buying cartel.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, the 26th of January, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Maria Latosa.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Marvi Delphine.
First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. spearheads the momentous switch on of the Mindanao-Visayas Interconnection Project. In a landmark event, the president underscored the critical importance of securing the nation's energy future, highlighting the significance of this interconnected power infrastructure for the country. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directed the Department of Energy or DOE and the Energy Regulatory Commission or ERC to study the recommendation to allow third parties when it comes to transmission projects in the energy sector. He made the remark during the ceremonial energization of the Mindanao-Visayas Interconnection Project or MVIP in Malacanang.
I have directed the ERC to complete the reset of NGCP's rate without further delay. I have also directed the Department of Energy and the ERC to look into the proposal of allowing third parties to construct transmission projects at the pace required by the country's power needs as we grow out of the pandemic economy.
Under the project, a 184 circuit kilometer high voltage direct current submarine cable with a transfer capacity of 450 megawatts now connects the Mindanao and Visayas grids through Dapitan, Zamboanga del Norte, and Santander, Cebu. President Marcos said the infrastructure allows power generation in Mindanao to supply homes and establishments in Visayas and Luzon, vice versa. The president also stressed the need to address the Panay Island blackout that cost 3.8 billion pesos in economic losses to Iloilo and inconvenienced thousands of residents, an incident that underscored the importance of the vital role of interconnection projects. The chief executive also looks forward to the completion of the other projects of NGCP.
So we look forward to the assurances in the promised completion of the 230 kilovolt Cebu-Negros Panay backbone project by March of this year, as well as the commitment that you have made to complete the Hermosa-San Jose 500 kilovolt transmission lines next month.
The president assured the government support to ensure the timely completion of all significant transmission projects, especially those that will resolve power congestion and those that needed to deliver additional capacities that can be provided by renewable energy. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Justice is actively investigating the acquisition of numerous government IDs from a Taiwanese national last Monday, January 22. These include driver's licenses, PRC, PhilPost, and national IDs, which may be used under different Filipino names. The primary suspect, shown in a picture, is under scrutiny.
Pinapa-investigate po ng DOJ kung paano nila nakuha itong mga IDs na ito At kung ano yung rason kung bakit iba-iba po, no, yung mga pangalan dito. At kung bakit kailangan niya ng iba-ibang mga government IDs. Ang tinitingnan ho natin ditong rason is they're really trying to avoid detection. Patago po talaga kasi yung mga activities nila. Ito mga ginagawa nila mga pogo, illegal pogo activities, scam hubs are always under the blanket. No? Talagang ayaw nila na makilala sila sa totoo nilang pangalan.
The Bureau of Immigration apprehended Taiwanese fugitive Yuan Bo-chun at his Makati City residence, facing charges of human trafficking in Taipei, Taiwan. Another Taiwanese national, Lin Junzi, was also captured at the suspect's house. A significant haul of confiscated items includes online scamming equipment, gambling paraphernalia, illegal drugs, hundreds of SIM cards, guns, 9G visas, and various government IDs, shedding light on the extent of their illicit activities.
This will probably go into finding out kung sino talaga nagpapalikod ng mga sindikato. Kasi alam naman natin na itong mga to, hindi nila magagawa ito kung wala silang backer or walang nagpapalikod sa mga to. So, this is, we know, is part of a larger scheme, no? A larger operation, if you may know, which is not only found here in the Philippines, but internationally. Ganito na po talaga yung trend.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez addressed the issue concerning his relationship with Vice President Sara Duterte, asserting that his support for her remains unwavering. He also reminisced about his role as her campaign manager during the 2022 national elections, expressing a sense of nostalgia for the former vice president. Speculation intensified amid the reallocation of confidential funds from the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education, further fueling discussions about the dynamics of their relationship.
For the Vice President, I respect the Vice President as my Vice President, as my Secretary of Education. She has my full support. I don't know what I have said or done to attack her. Please identify those accusations, if any. Kung nakikinig sa mga marites, mapunta yung dalawang dyan, talk to her. So lang po, nami-miss ko siya kasi dati marami kami pagkasama.
Self-rated hunger in the Philippines increased to 14% in the last quarter of 2023, according to the December 2023 survey conducted by the UNTV Research Group. This is equivalent to an estimated 3.7 million families who experienced involuntary hunger. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Tales of resilience and economic challenges emerge as we delve into the lives of hardworking individuals who find themselves navigating a daily struggle with limited resources. Mr. Pablo, with only 2 meals a day, relies on the modest earnings from selling ice cream to meet the needs of his loved ones.
Mataas ang mga berilhin. Napakamahal. Nagtitipid magka-ansya sa isang araw.
Mrs. Violi, a sidewalk vendor, faces a similar reality, saving on lunch to stretch her earnings through the entire day.
Ang ulam, hinahati ko para tanghalian hanggang gabi. Ang hirap kasi hindi ka gaano dito kumita matumal ang paninda sa ngayon.
Their stories mirror those of countless others whose incomes fall short of providing 3 meals a day for their families. The December 2023 Tugonang Masa Survey by the UNTV Research Group reveals a stark reality. Self-rated hunger has surged by 4%, rising from 10% in October 2023 to a troubling 14%. This uptick translates to approximately 3.7 million Filipino families experiencing involuntary hunger.
Significant ito kasi more than the margin of error from 10 to 14%. Ano kayong mga dahilan? Well, hindi natin masabi for sure, pero yung inflation, of course, factor yan. Dahil tumataas yung presyo ng mga bilihin, baka may iba tayong mga kababayan, mas nahihirapan sila to cope up at nakaranas sila ng gutom.
Meanwhile, self-rated poverty in the Philippines exhibited a decrease during the last quarter of 2023. However, the struggle persists with approximately 45% or an estimated 11.9 million Filipino families still considering themselves poor. This reduction in self-related poverty is a positive sign, notably observed in the National Capital Region, Balanced Luzon, and Visayas. Unfortunately, the same improvement is not mirrored in Mindanao, where the challenges of poverty persist. In response to this pressing issue, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, is actively implementing innovative programs to combat hunger. Collaborating with various government agencies and stakeholders, DSWD aims to make a substantial impact. One such initiative is the full pilot implementation of the food stamp program scheduled for this year. DSWD fervently hopes that through such programs, the Philippines can make significant strides in addressing hunger and ensuring food security for its citizens. Meanwhile, the Octa Research Group emphasizes the importance of the government's commitment to long-term solutions to alleviate poverty and hunger.
Yan yung nasa discussion natin dapat. Paano yung dapat mga long-term solutions natin, mga programa na makakatulong sa mga kababayan natin para maiangat yung kanilang mga buhay at hindi na sila nagugutom at naghihirap.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, the European Union, or EU, is using regions' unity, huge influence, and buying power to secure access to key drugs and vaccines in order to insulate its 27 members from growing drug shortages in the region. EU's move to act as a buying cartel, however, could leave Britain behind the queue, leading to worse drug scarcities in the country. Having seized its EU membership via Brexit, the UK is now a separate market and much less attractive to the pharmaceutical trade than the EU due to additional regulations, higher taxes, and is much smaller than the European region market. The European Medicines Agency is advising the UK to work more closely with the EU regarding medication supply, similar to its collaboration on defense, policing, and higher education.
The United States economy experienced a growth spurt in the final months of 2023, surpassing initial projections. According to the U.S. Commerce Department, the gross domestic product, or GDP, of the country increased by a significant 3.1%. This growth exceeds forecasts, which had predicted a more modest uptick of just over 1%. This positive news for the world's largest economy comes despite earlier concerns of a looming recession or economic downturn at the beginning of 2023. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen attributes much of this success to the economic policies implemented by the Biden administration, with a particular focus on the welfare of the U.S. middle class.
Forecasters thought a recession last year was inevitable. President Biden and I did not. Instead of contracting, the economy has continued to grow, driven by American workers and President Biden's economic strategy. President Biden and I believe that GDP growth is not meaningful if it is not shared, if it doesn't impact the lives of these Americans. And we also believe that a stronger middle class and a thriving economy everywhere in the United States is key to building a more robust and resilient economy overall.
Secretary Yellen clarifies that the positive economic results won't be immediately felt by the citizens, but the long-term policies of the government are anticipated to enhance the livelihoods of Americans. Beyond the GDP surge, there's more good news on the economic front. The inflation rate has decreased to 3% from the record high in 2021, and the unemployment rate in the U.S. is at an all-time low of 3%.
Inflation remains low. the labor market remains strong, so people feel good about their job prospects.
Yeah.
I think we'll see sentiment improve. And
in a significant development in the education sector, teachers across the country are set to experience a notable shift in their responsibilities. Following an announcement by Vice President and Education Secretary Sara in her Basic Education Report, it has been confirmed that administrative tasks will be removed from teachers' assignments. This welcome change comes after the issuance of a department order addressing the matter. Jed Neresina will tell us why.
A significant development in the education sector unfolds tonight as the Department of Education releases Department Order No. 02. This directive brings immediate relief for teachers in public schools by removing administrative tasks from their responsibilities. The department order underscores the elimination of non-teaching tasks for teachers, allowing them to channel their focus and energy towards teaching and guiding students. The mandate emphasizes the swift dissemination and strict compliance with this order throughout the education system. For teachers, this marks a substantial relief from what were once considered special assignments. According to teacher Maria Mendoza, this adjustment means they can now concentrate on teaching children without the burden of time pressure.
Definitely masaya. Oo, kasi yung admin task is dagdag na trabaho sa mga teachers. Kasi ang teachers, from the word itself, is to teach. Dapat focus ang teacher sa pagtuturo, sa pag-nurture, sa pag-educate ng bata.
Welma Alisasis, assistant to the principal at Nagbayong Elementary School, expresses great happiness, stating that this change will provide them with ample time to prepare lesson outlines and plan engaging classroom activities. This shift not only enables teachers to prioritize their core duty of educating, but also alleviates them from additional reports and administrative tasks that were previously part of their teaching load.
Malaking ginhawa siya kasi syempre po our mandate is to teach, so dapat nasa loob ng classroom. So kung tatanggalin na po yung administrative task, we will have an ample time to teach at yung learning ay mas ma-deepen pa po.
Recognizing that teachers have personal lives beyond the classroom, the removal of administrative tasks allows for a more balanced work-life dynamic. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In a move to streamline and encourage efficiency in transportation services, the Office of the Transportation Cooperatives has announced a prioritization of Metro Manila routes. This initiative aims to incentivize operators to participate in the ongoing consolidation efforts until its deadline on April 30, 2024. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Office of the Transportation Cooperatives, or OTC, declared that they will efficiently utilize the 3-month extension of franchise consolidation to encourage remaining operators who have not joined the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, or PUVMP. OTC Chairman Andy Ortega said they will prioritize the routes in Metro Manila, which has no consolidated franchises.
Instead of us waiting for them to apply, we will do what we were doing years ago. Noong nagsimula ang PUVMP, kami ngayon ay pupunta sa mga LGUs for us to talk to the groups na hindi pa nag-consolidate, and we will now ask yung LTFRB NCR what are the routes na meron ang mababa or walang consolidation at kusang pupunta ang OTC.
He elaborated that the OTC will coordinate with the local government units to convene with operators to conduct seminar regarding the benefits of the PUVMP to transport sector and the commuters. As of now, OTC is not yet accepting new application to form cooperatives or any documents related to consolidation. They will wait until the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, release the memorandum with regards to the 3-month extension of the franchise consolidation until April 30. They are now in contact with the operators who signified to join the consolidation but did not met the previous deadline of December 31, 2023.
Sa ngayon, yung mga lumapit sa amin after the deadline na sinabi namin na hindi na pwede, we're now contacting them.
The DOTR said they expect to have a consolidation rate of 85% after this last extension for franchise consolidation deadline. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, Japan's space agency has successfully executed a precise landing with its moon sniper lander on a crater where the moon's mantle is believed to be exposed on its surface. Mavian Dog details why.
Landing within 3 to 4 meters of the targeted crater where the moon's deep inner layer is found, this is a remarkable comparison over its mission to land within 100 meters of the target and the conventional precision of over several kilometers. After its touchdown, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, has received all data from its probe, the Smart Lander for Investigating Moon, or SLIM, within 2 hours and 37 minutes before being temporarily shut down. Despite the successful pinpoint landing, the space agency faced challenges, including landing in a slight angle, potentially due to its 2 main engines stopping during its final phase of the touchdown. The solar panels also did not generate electricity, potentially due to the misalignment. However, JAXA emphasized that obtaining data on the moon's potential water resources is a higher priority, which could be discovered through vision-based navigation. JAXA's quest aligns with global exploration efforts following the examples of United States, Russia, China, and India. Mavian Dog, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
The charter change saga continues between the Senate and the House of Representatives. This as lawmakers tag House lawmakers as the driver of the alleged bribery for a signature campaign, while the Senate leadership thumbs down House Speaker Martin Romualdez's Alternative People's Initiative. Hardleen Delgado will tell us why.
Several senators are dissatisfied with the recent move of the House leadership as they continue to lock horns on the issue of charter change or cha-cha. In a letter to Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri, House Speaker Martin Romualdez committed the lower house's support to the resolution of both houses number 6, which seeks to amend the economic provisions of the Constitution through a constituent assembly. However, he also committed the chamber's support to what he calls an alternative people's initiative to be led by the Senate. Zubiri says there have been no discussions on an alternative people's initiative. He adds that the Senate maintains that the current signature campaign for a people's initiative is flawed and unconstitutional, and a legitimate one must be initiated genuinely by the people. He also laments that a constitutional crisis is seemingly slowly happening despite warnings and efforts to avert it. Other senators were also dismayed by Romualdez's remarks.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, this is an insult. Insulto to. Inaamin na po ba, Ms. Speaker, na sila yung behind this? Because may mga government funds na ginamit. May violation po doon at napakalaking usapin nun.
Ang pinagsabihan na si Speaker na huminto na at yung Resolution 6 ng Senado ang mangunguna. Bakit bumaliktad? Ibig sabihin, hindi si Speaker sumusunod sa Pangulo. Ganun lang kaliwanag yun. Alin ba talaga? Saan ba tayo, sister? Litong-lito na ako.
The Senate Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation will begin its investigation next week into the alleged bribery and multi-million offer of government aid to districts and exchange of signatures for the so-called People's Initiative. Senator Amy Marcos, who will lead the inquiry, worries that no one from the witnesses would even dare to reveal the mastermind behind the alleged illicit act. However, she believes the office of Romualdez is the one behind the move.
Napakaraming text, napakaraming utos, napakaraming form, lahat ng galing sa kanila. Yung schedule, yung timeline, clearly derives from the Speaker's office. Nakakatawa kasi pati ako pinadalhan. Definitely, yung opisina niya ang nag-alok ng 20 million kada distrito with very clear numbers identifying the staff members and attorneys involved. Baka gusto rin niya magpaliwanag dahil tinuturo siya ng tinuturo para malinisan yung kanyang pangalan. Baka type naman niya pumunta. Tingnan natin. Open ako.
Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva says he is willing to divulge the thousands of evidence that his office received should the Senate panel allow during his proceedings.
Even a congressman is pointing his leader. May mga voicemail po eh. Nakilala ko ho yung mga boses eh. Kaya kung gusto nyong maglabasan tayo at ayaw nyo talagang aminin, 4 na congressman yung narinig kong boses. I've spoke to mayors in our province, at least to 4 mayors who already admitted to me. Now, these are congressmen's staff who called them, who told them na may gagawin silang signature kami, but they did not even say this is People's Initiative to the mayors.
Aside from witnesses of the alleged bribery, Marcos says they will also invite the framers of the 1987 Constitution and other experts to further enrich the discussions on People's Initiative. Harding Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13, it says, "A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken." And those are the reasons behind the news January 26, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Marvi Delfin, live from Australia. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Mariela Toza, live from Australia. We serve the people, we give glory to God.